Well, we finally know why we're at war with Iran. We finally know. We're going to hear that from Marco Rubio. But first, President Trump is addressing the nation tonight, and he's got some things to say. What's he going to say? We could speculate all day as to what he's going to say, but here's something he said yesterday. March 31st, I believe that's when this is from, in a press conference when were questions. And this is what he has to say about just how much we are defeating Iran, and we're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz. It's going to be the Trump, the Strait of Trump, and all of that stuff. Okay, so what's he say?
We'll be leaving very soon, and if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. I think it'll be very safe, actually, but we have nothing to do with that. What happens to the strait, we're not going to have anything to do with, because these countries, China will go up and they'll fuel up their beautiful ships and they'll leave and they'll take care of themselves. There's no reason for us to do it. We'll be leaving very soon, and if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the strait.
Oh, it's playing again. I didn't realize it was playing again. Yeah, let's get out of there. Let's stop. Let's just declare victory. It's time to declare victory already. He's had 1 million exit ramps, 1 million off ramps to declare victory. With regime change, with the killing of Khamenei, there's so many ways that there's so many opportunities that he could have taken to get out of this absolutely meaningless war. This man that posted this, Trump says the U.S. is leaving soon, has nothing to do with the strait. He started a war, lost it, closed the strait, and now he's pretending it was never his problem. This is what failure looks like. Yes, it is, and it's humiliating for America, but that's sad. It's a sad thing. Let's hear what Marco Rubio has to say, though. He's going to give us the real reason why we're in this war. Let's revisit some things he said before, though. This is on March 3rd, followed by March 2nd.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked the question.
And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
Yes. As they have been very consistent, Rubio, Trump, they've all been extremely consistent. Iran was an imminent threat to Israel. Really, Israel was an imminent threat to Iran, actually, to say it more accurately. Israel was an imminent threat to Iran. Therefore, we go to war and destroy our economy, send soldiers off to be killed because Israel was going to attack. Oh, okay. But I haven't seen this yet. This is the White House released this today. What's Rubio have to say?
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt.
They were 2 weeks away. They were about 2 weeks away, by the way, for 30 some years.
If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is, you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done.
Yeah, except that's something that was part of the 15-point plan, that they can't even have enriched uranium, for energy. They can't have any of it. They can't even have ballistic missiles to defend them. Like nothing. They can't have anything. We come in and tell a nation you can't be sovereign, which is basically a lesson to the world that, like, you better get nuked up or you're going to get destroyed by America. Or at least we're going to attempt to, but we took on, a nation far too big.
They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare, and they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons, and every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the...
So they were building a defense system, and clearly no country except America should have military defense.
verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build.
And it was eliminated in June, right?
And the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we eliminated their nuclear program in June and have now again eliminated their nuclear program. And so we can rest assured they're no longer a threat. Of course they're a threat. They hate America. But were they an imminent threat? Were we about to get attacked tomorrow? I don't know. They were an imminent threat depending on how you define that. So we should be attacking Russia. We should be attacking Canada. But, you know, they have nuclear weapons. So that's probably not a good idea. And we probably lose. And you should probably think about war and outcomes and objectives before you take action. When you have colonels and generals telling the commander-in-chief, this is not going to work, and he completely ignores them, that's his own narcissistic agenda. So, I mean, it is just, it's a very sad thing. I don't watch Alex Jones, but I logged on and saw this, and even he is saying this about Trump and the MAGA movement, and I think it's worth playing here. Let's play it.
When your ankles swell up 3 times the size they were before, that means heart failure. And he does look sick. And he does babble and, you know, sound like the brain's not doing too hot. And so we just cut bait on Trump, and we just mobilize against the Democrats. And we mobilize against neocons, we primary them, and we just fight even harder, because look at how we've turned the tide. Look at all the good we've done. There's a fourth turning. Populists, nationalists, conservatives are winning everywhere. There's a Christian reawakening. And Trump is just a minor figure in all of that now. And we have to be appreciative of the old Trump that went through so much and got so much done. And that's the Trump we remember. And we're just sad because that happens. We need to be sad about Trump. This is not funny. This is not good. But he's gone. And that's it. And all the people rallied around him, you can see Hegseth's freaked out. You can see the press secretary's freaked out. They're being loyal. They think it's the lesser of two evils. And okay, but I just, Trump needs an intervention. He needs to take some time off. We need to pray for Trump, that the Holy Spirit touch his heart and loose him from whatever evil control he's under. I'm serious. And I think that's the answer. We need to pray for President Trump. We need to pray for other people to be awakened. We need to pray for justice and peace.
Yeah. This nation needs a lot of prayer, that is for sure. And whether you think it's an issue of mental capacity, whether it's an issue of, I don't know, he's just betrayed his base. That is very obvious. That is more obvious than anything else. And obviously, Israel driving us into these wars, and just the people that were around Trump, and he has so quickly abandoned his campaign promises. And it's very, very sad thing to see, because we lived through 4 years of absolutely no leadership, literally no leadership in this nation, and even Republican and Democrat alike, people switching from Democrat over to Republican and voting for Trump because whatever you agree or disagree with him on, they were like, at least there's leadership, and at least maybe the economy could get better, and so the lesser of two evils and all that sort of thing, and voting for him, and then now he's completely abandoned all campaign promises and all of the no more war, anti-war agenda, and it's he's a neocon, but it's just like it's pretty much whatever Netanyahu wants. We're so lockstep with Israel. It is whatever the government of Israel wants, whatever Netanyahu wants. That is the direction that we go now. Very sad to see. Hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe for content like this, reaction and analytical content from a Christian worldview. God bless you. I'll see you next time. And take a look at the pinned comment below for a trailer about this channel. And then subscribe if you like this content. And if you don't, then obviously don't. And you can go away. All right. Bye.